Okay, let's talk about the powerful, invisible clock ticking away inside every single one of us. It's a clock that's been perfected over millions of years of evolution. And the problem? Well, modern life has completely, and I mean completely, shattered it. So today, we're going to figure out what this clock is, how we broke its rhythms so badly, and, most importantly, how to reset it for some incredible gains in your health and your energy.
You know, this quote just gets right to the heart of the whole issue, doesn't it? We're basically living in this constant biological war against ourselves. We're pitting millions of years of evolution against, what, about 140 years of the light bulb? And as we're about to see, our bodies are absolutely losing that fight.
So here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to understand this incredible clock we've all broken. Then, we'll pop the hood and see how it's actually supposed to work. After that, we'll get into the serious price we're all paying for this disruption, before finally getting to the simple, powerful fix that can bring us all back into sync. All right, part one. Let's start with this fundamental system that we have just thrown into absolute chaos. And this isn't some small thing, some minor preference. This is a core biological driver that most of us now ignore every single day. The official term for it is your circadian rhythm. It comes from the Latin circa diem, which literally means around a day. Think of it as your body's internal 24-hour operating system. It's what tells you when to be awake, when to sleep, when to eat, when to repair yourself. It pretty much governs everything. And this right here, this is the crucial point. For almost all of evolutionary history, life on Earth had one simple, unwavering rule. The sun comes up, and then the sun goes down. Our entire genetic code, our hormones, our metabolism, the whole shebang is built on the bedrock of this predictable, ancient cycle of light and dark. So how does this incredible master timekeeper actually work? Well, it's surprisingly simple. Really elegant, actually, and it all revolves around one master signal from the outside world. And that signal is light. Specifically, it's about the timing and even the quality of the light that enters your eyes. See, this isn't just about on or off. Your brain is specifically looking for the bright blue-rich light of the morning versus the dimmer, warmer, redder light of the evening. That's the primary input that sets your body's entire daily schedule. So that light signal travels directly from your eyes to a teeny tiny cluster of about 20,000 neurons in your brain, called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. It's a mouthful, so let's just call it the SCN. You can think of this as the central command center for time. It's the master clock that keeps the official time for your entire body. But here's where it gets really cool. The SCN isn't the only clock. Turns out every single one of your organs, your liver, your gut, your muscles, and maybe even every single cell has its own little mini clock. The SCN's main job is to act like the conductor of a giant orchestra, using those light signals from the outside to make sure all these millions of individual clocks are playing in perfect, beautiful harmony. And this is what that harmony looks like on a perfectly aligned day. You see, around 6 a.m., cortisol, your get-up-and-go hormone, naturally peaks to wake you with energy. By 10 a.m., your mind is at its sharpest. Physical strength actually peaks in the late afternoon. And then, as darkness falls, melatonin, the sleep hormone, begins to rise to prepare you for deep, restorative sleep. This right here is your biological blueprint for peak performance. But of course, almost none of us live by that blueprint anymore, do we? So let's move on and take a look at the very steep price we are paying for living so completely out of sync with our own biology. I mean, just look at this. The contrast between how we're built to live and how we actually live is staggering. We've gone from waking gently with the sun to being jolted awake by a blaring alarm in a pitch-black room. We've gone from spending our days outside in bright, natural sunlight to sitting all day under dim, static indoor lights. We eat late at night, and we stare at bright screens right up until we try to sleep. We've completely inverted the ancient rules, and our bodies are really paying for it. And these are the main culprits. That artificial light at night. That's probably the biggest one, tricking our brains into thinking it's still daytime long after the sun has set. But then there's also something called social jet lag. That's what happens when you shift your sleep schedule by a few hours on the weekend. You're basically giving yourself jet lag without ever leaving your house. All of these things send confusing, scrambled signals to your master clock. And the consequences, well, they're not trivial. When all those clocks in your body are out of sync, the whole system starts to break down. And we're not just talking about feeling a little tired. No, we're talking about a direct line to the biggest health crises we face today. Things like metabolic disease, mood disorders, cognitive problems, and even a significantly increased risk for cardiovascular disease and certain types of cancer. Just take a look at this number, Forcing your body to be awake and active during its biological night, which is exactly what shift workers have to do, is one of the most extreme forms of this disruption. And the result? A stunning 40% higher risk of cardiovascular disease. That is a direct consequence of fighting your internal clock. And if that wasn't sobering enough, get this. The World Health Organization has gone so far as to classify night shift work as a probable carcinogen. It's in the same risk category as some other things we know are really, really bad for us. That's how seriously the scientific community takes this. This isn't just a lifestyle choice, it's a fundamental health issue. Okay, so that was a lot of bad news, but here's the really great news. Because the problem is so fundamental, the solution is too. It's actually quite simple. So let's look at how we can effectively reclaim our natural rhythm starting today. So the fix isn't some expensive supplement or some complicated biohacking device. The single most powerful tool you have to reset your internal clock is the very thing that sets it in the first place: light. Learning to manage your light exposure, that's everything. And here it is. This is the entire protocol. It's incredibly straightforward. Number 1, and this is the most important. Get bright, direct sunlight in your eyes within an hour of waking up. No sunglasses. This is non-negotiable. That morning light hits special receptors in your eyes and sends the strongest possible signal to your master clock, basically screaming, "Hey, the day has begun, start the timer." 2, get as much bright light as you can during the day. Work near a window, take your lunch break outside. This reinforces that daytime signal. 3, as evening approaches, you do the exact opposite. You make your environment darker. Dim the lights, block the blue light from your screens. This is what allows your body's natural melatonin to start rising, which prepares you for sleep. And finally, number 4, sleep in absolute, complete darkness. Blackout curtains, a sleep mask, whatever it takes. This ensures your sleep isn't fragmented and your body can do its deep repair work. That's it. That's the reset. So, when you put this all together, what does it really mean? Well, it's about more than just a list of health tips. It's a fundamental shift in how we see ourselves and our place in the world. I just love this quote because it really elevates the whole idea. Aligning your circadian rhythm isn't about restriction or following a bunch of rigid rules. It's about participation. It's about plugging yourself back into this natural, cosmic rhythm of day and night that has existed for billions of years. When you're in sync, you are in a state of flow with the world around you. And that's really the choice we have, isn't it? We can have the constant struggle, the exhausting effort of fighting against our own biology, or we can find that state of flow. This isn't about being perfect. It's just about choosing, more often than not, to work with your body's ancient code instead of constantly fighting against it. And ultimately, it all comes down to this. Your biology hasn't really changed in thousands of years. That ancient rhythm is still there, inside of you, waiting. It's a system that's perfectly designed for health, for energy, and for balance. So the only question left is, after all this time living out of sync, are you ready to finally come home and listen?